Good morning. My name is Tina Mayer. I'm your worship associate this morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 6 in your gray hymnal, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Good morning. My name is Christine Clayton, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you have been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting us, we welcome you. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building sits as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger people. I have a number of announcements today. The first, is from me. Our annual pledge drive starts next week, and we will run until April 12th. We need some cupcake makers for next week's launch on March 15th, so please contact me or email me at cdclayton123@gmail if you can help out. We had this in the e-news. Thank you. A special request from the Music Committee. We are asking for your help to make our fundraising concert on March 15th with our wonderful music director, Alex Smith, a rousing success. First, we hope you can all attend and can invite a friend. Second, we are looking for volunteers to bring finger foods and or soft drinks for the reception. If you can help, please email Tina Mayer and let her know what you can bring. You can also speak to her at coffee hour today. She will have a sign-up sheet. Thank you in advance. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to join our Fourth Fridays contingent marching with Peekskill Pride at Peekskill's St. Patrick's Day parade next Saturday, March 15th at 3 p.m. See Margie Kemper in the back there for details, or email her at info@fourthfridayspeakskill.org. The Social Justice Committee still has a few packets of Souls to the Polls postcards urging registered Black voters in Milwaukee to vote in their upcoming Supreme Court election. See Terry Lucan, she's somewhere, there she is, after services to get a packet of 10 postcards for $5 and help us keep our democracy alive. We also have a special announcement, I think from William. Are you going to come up?
Hello. I have some very unfortunate news that my friend's father is being deported, and we are trying to start a fundraiser here to raise money for them. As of Friday, Reverend Daniels helped find a deportation lawyer and all the assets that they can help. We just need your help to help us get them some money, even if they do get deported, to help them get them back on their feet.
Thank you, William, for sharing that with us. And I've been told that we should look in the email. We'll be seeing something in the email about how to contribute if you can help out for William's friend's family. All right, I'm done. We're done with the announcements. So for the most up-to-date information on these topics and others, please refer to our weekly e-newsletter and check out our website frequently. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you are present in the sanctuary, please join us for coffee and conversation in Fellowship Hall. And if you're watching the live stream, the link for our Zoom coffee hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. If you are just recently joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email us at uucroton@gmail.com with your name, or fill out a yellow welcome card that's in the pew, and we will make sure you're added to our e-news list. Also, please remember to silence your cell phones at this time. And once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley.
Good morning, everyone. So most of you know me. I'm Reverend Lane Cobb. I bring you greetings this morning from 4th Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Westchester in Mohegan Lake. Dearest William, our hearts are with you and your friends and your friends' family. I want to say to you that though you are young in years, you are mighty in spirit. I speak for all of us when we say that we are grateful for you. We are grateful for your leadership. And you have our support no matter what. A poem by UU minister Dara Oland says that now is a time for rising together in a great sea of creative strength for the principles and values we cherish, guided by love's persistent call. This is not a new call, but an ancient one. It calls us out of our smallness and narrowness to be bigger and braver, remembering that we are connected and that any positive changes will come from our connection rather than our dislocation and isolation. Now is a time for us to call forth our greatness, the greatness within and the greatness when we rise up and champion love. We rise together like water, answering love's demand and call. William, thank you for answering the call, and thank this fellowship. Our call to worship is in our gray hymnal. It is number 722. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in the reading. I will read first, and your answers are in the italics. I think continually of those. I think continually of those who were truly great, who from the womb remembered the soul's history through corridors of light, where the hours are suns, endless and singing, whose lovely ambition was that their lips, still touched with fire, should tell of the spirit clothed from head to foot in song, and who hoarded from the spring branches the desires falling across their bodies like blossoms. What is precious is never to forget the essential delight of the blood drawn from ageless springs breaking through rocks in worlds before our earth. Never to deny its pleasure in this simple morning light, nor its grave evening demand for love. Never to allow gradually the traffic to smother with noise and fog the flowering of the spirit.
Near the snow, near the sun, in the highest fields, see how these names are feted by the waving grass, and by the streamers of white cloud, and whispers of wind in the listening sky.
The names of those who in their lives fought for life, who wore at their hearts the fire's center. Born of the sun, they traveled a short while towards the sun, and left the vivid air signed with their honor. Amen.
We now invite the children of our congregation to join Jane Podell and ring our bell 7 times in honor of our 7 UU values. Our chalice lighting words today are from Omar Akkad, excerpted from his book titled, "One Day, Everyone Will Always Have Been Against This." The moral component of history, the most necessary component, is simply a single question asked over and over again. When it mattered, who sided with justice and who sided with power? What makes moments such as this one so dangerous, so clarifying, is that one way or another, everyone is forced to answer. Now please join me in our unison affirmation. The words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice. Now please join me in our next hymn, number 1002, in your teal hymnal, Comfort Me. We will sing verses 1 through 3. We now invite the children of our congregation to join Jane and Annabelle to go into the coffee hour spot and have their religious exploration. Our reading today is an excerpt from Undrowned, Black Feminist Lessons from Marine Mammals by Alexis Pauline Gumbs. From the sky, a dolphin pod of Lissodelphis, black and white dolphins with no fins, which travel by the hundreds, would look like a smooth black continent of movement. From underwater, it would look like a white cloud that somehow submerged. That's how I imagine it. Collectively echolocating for food, they would be impossible to ignore. Though only a few come to the surface at a time, they travel by the hundreds or thousands, so sleek. And their cousins, other dolphins with fins not so smooth, they welcome them into the pod too. That's how I think about us sometimes, those of us who have chosen to move together through this. We are perceived so distinctly from different directions. Human observers mistake Lissodelphis for seals or sea lions or even for penguins sometimes. Which is to say, maybe it's not so much about being recognized as who we are, as it is about staying together, feeding each other, knowing where we are and moving through. My love to my pod in all directions, the smooth and the not quite so smooth. Those of you showing your back and those showing your belly. Those of you who breaking through the surface and those staying in the deep. It is an honor to be in the midst of you. Look around, listen out. Here we are. We come together in community to share with one another, to support one another, and to celebrate with one another. We bear sacred witness to each other in this honored ritual. As we begin, we know that there are both great sorrows and great joys in our world that must be acknowledged as well. We light our first candle to honor those in pain, victims of violence and war and oppression all around our world. We light a second candle because we understand that amidst all that pain, there's also celebration and joy in our world. We honor that joy and sorrow are woven together. For some of us here today, this has been a week of life-changing joy that needs to be lifted up in this worship. For others, this has been a time of deep pain and sorrow that needs to be shared to make the burden lighter. If this has been such a time for you, I invite you to come forward to light a candle and to briefly tell us of your joy or sorrow. You may also raise your hand in silent acknowledgement of your joys and sorrows, and we will light a candle for you. Please remember that your joys and sorrows are being shared on the live stream and the broader virtual community.
Hi, I'm Joanne, and I have a joy. A couple of weeks ago, I was able to go with my family to Florida, and I had a wonderful time, and I got out of town just before that huge snowstorm, for which I was very grateful for. And I'm grateful for my family.
I'm Michael. My pronouns are he, him. I have a joy that my wife and I and Ann Summers and a neighbor went to a gun control conference in Peekskill, and we got to meet Gabby Giffords, and which was a great honor, and we got to speak with her personally, and we got to meet Kate Connolly, who is running for 17th Congressional District. That's Dan Lawler's district at this point. Mike Lawler, sorry. Yeah.
Good morning. I'd like to light a candle in honor of Ralph Gunderman. Some of you might know him. He was the husband of Pamela Parker, who was the White Plains UU administrator for many years, and she's a member of the Mohegan Lake congregation. Pam's husband, Ralph, was a larger-than-life presence. He was full of joy and life and drama and just an incredible spirit of a man. And I have a slight personal connection because before they started dating, each of them came to me, because I knew them both, and said, "What do you think of the other?" And I said, "Go for it," to both of them. And I was very touched when she called me a few days ago to say that Ralph had passed. She thanked me. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, I have a sorrow to share. A young boy in our son's daycare class was diagnosed with a brain tumor. He's a 4-year-old kid. Seems like the surgery was a success, but he was one of our son's close friends, so please just keep him in your thoughts. His name is Nicky Santoli, and his parents, one of his fathers works for the daycare. They're very wonderful people.
Hi, good morning. I'm April. I just want to echo what William shared about his friend's father, and also that the unexpected joy that again came from Reverend Daniel, because I honestly reached out to Reverend Daniel just to have a philosophical conversation about like what we talked about last week here about joys and sorrows and how we need to get up each day and find joy, but yet there's all these things going on. And he in turn acted as an activist and sent a lot of resources for attorneys and offered to do this fundraiser, and I wasn't expecting that, and it was kind of overwhelming. And so I just want to give immense gratitude for this place, that it's really a lot, and just to know that we're a community and we're together.
Hi, I'm Heather Hewitt. My pronouns are she, her. I don't actually know if sorrow is quite the word for this, but my heart is so heavy with what has been happening for the last week. For 15 years, I served on the board of a foundation that funded people working for peace in the Middle East, trying to end the cycle of violence with a focus on children. It was founded by a friend of mine who's a member of the Iranian diaspora. And so it is, I don't even just really have words for what's happening, the violence outside and the violence inside our country. So it's good to be here and to look for something together.
We lit one final candle for all those joys and sorrows that remain unexpressed, and for those outside of our walls who are searching for a place to bring the wholeness of their lives and be received with love.
Our meditation prayer for this morning. Sorry, I'm a little. Our meditation prayer for this morning is from Reverend Connie Simon. She is a UU transitional minister who says that the sacred privilege of accompanying people and communities through joy and struggle, growth and grief is what centers her life. Her work appears in the anthology The Rough Side of the Mountain, Black Women's Ministries in Unitarian Universalism. This poem is entitled There. She writes, "It feels like we've been traveling forever, but we're still not there. Lord knows we've tried, each in our own way, to get there, wherever there is. Working groups, task forces, coalitions, allies, resolutions and programs, catchy acronyms and fancy names. We think and talk, then think and talk some more. Lord knows we've tried, each in our own way, to get there, wherever there is. They try so hard to include me, but I thought I was already included. Now I feel like an outsider. Lord knows we've tried, each in our own way, to get there, wherever there is. I know it's better than it was, but it still feels like I'm supposed to set aside a piece of who I am in order to belong. I won't do it. My Unitarian and Universalist ancestors worked too hard for me to give up now. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper whispers softly in my ear, "Keep going, child." Yes, ma'am. It's a struggle sometimes, but I don't feel no ways tired. We've made some progress, and we'll make some more. We'll keep trying. We'll get there someday, wherever there is. Good morning again. If I did not say so earlier, let me say so now. Once again, it is an honor to be here with you. It seems to me this is the third time that I visited you during Women's History Month. Once again in this service, we champion the voices of women, and in particular the voices of Black feminists, whose leadership has figured prominently in movements for both civil and human rights that have ushered in social and political change in this country and abroad. As you will already know, you're good Unitarian Universalists. UU has been molded, transformed, and informed by strong feminist leadership for many, many decades. And so it makes sense that we would celebrate the power of the divine feminine and what that means for all of us. The reading that you heard earlier was taken from the book Undrowned, Black Feminist Lessons from Marine Mammals by Alexis Pauline Gumbs, which happens to be one of the most beautiful books that I have ever read. In it, the author invites us to study marine mammals, like whales and dolphins and seals, as teachers of survival, adaptation, and community. Writing from a Black feminist perspective, the author reminds us that survival under systems of extraction and domination requires collective intelligence. In doing so, she echoes the sentiment of generations of feminists of all races and cultures whose work to empower the voices of women for the good of the planet and all of its inhabitants has influenced me, and I suspect many of you in your journeys as UUs and social justice warriors and community activists. Their voices remind us that the solitary hero as world conqueror model cannot be used for the purpose of collective liberation or enlightenment, and that in order to survive, we must be attuned to one another, attend to each other's needs, and remind each other who we really are, fragile yet powerful, divinely connected to the planet and to each other, loved, loving, and lovable. They remind us, too, that collaboration, authenticity, and accountability are key to our collective journey to overcoming the bounds of oppression, and that as we travel together, we rediscover our divine connection to ourselves, to each other, and to the power which created us all. Like the myriad of feminist voices who have helped shape Unitarian Universalism, Gumbs offers us a map for healing ourselves and our world in a way that grounds us in an understanding of what is important and why we are here. Her work offers us an opportunity to explore what it means to come home to our truest and most authentic selves, and invites us to embark on a journey that is less the hero's journey of self-enlightenment and more the collective journey which gives rise to generosity, sharing, and unconditional love. I think in this time of terrifying turmoil and global upheaval, where no one feels safe and everything feels uncertain, it is good to remind ourselves that the world has not yet ended. We are still here on this journey together, and as I like to say, walking each other home. Home to the place inside us that is not ruled by fear. Home to the place where our values and our actions align, where our courage and our compassion are not in conflict with each other, and where self-betrayal makes way for authentic self-expression and love is an organizing principle. The longing many of us feel right now, the longing for decency, for honesty, and for shared humanity is in some ways a kind of homesickness. It is a longing, a memory of what love-based living feels like. In a world where fear is running the show, the journey home is the work of realigning our values and reimagining the rules of survival, not just for ourselves, but for every and all living things. In Undrowned, Gums drives home the overarching message that both safety and survival are collective, by illustrating over and over again how marine mammals demonstrate that adaptation and community are inseparable. Time and again, she challenges the structures of traditional society, extolling the value and the purpose of the school, in the case of dolphins, or in the case of whales, the pod, as, quote, organizational structures for learning, nurturance, and survival, both intergenerationally and within generations, unquote. What if school, she says, was the scale at which we could care for each other and move together? She says, in my view, at this moment in history, that is really what we need to learn most urgently. At this juncture in our human development, when we are desperate to connect with and care for each other, consulting with our marine mammal cousins certainly couldn't hurt. After all, they have been here much longer than we have, and likely have learned some things that we could benefit from if we were just paying attention. One of the central metaphors in Undrowned is breath. Marine mammals must surface intentionally. If they don't, they drown. Breathing for marine mammals is not automatic, like it is for us and for fish. It is conscious, rhythmic, and communal. Like all Black feminists, Gums does not separate lived experience from politics. In Undrowned, she offers us a referential framework for the process of breathing, asking us to consider that breath is political. She notes that under oppression, breath is restricted. Physically, economically, and socially, people are literally and figuratively suffocating under the weight of prejudicial policies and practices that overwork, overpolice, and silence them. The systems that constrict opportunities for self-development and self-care in communities of concern are just as lethal as chokeholds and waterboarding inflicted on so-called enemies of the state. To journey home together is to protect one another's breath, to give each other space and time to breathe, to protect each other's right to exist without constriction, to be the voice of dissent. It is asking who cannot breathe right now, who is being pushed under, who is exhausted from swimming alone. Journeying home together means we refuse to let anyone drown unnoticed. Traveling together in schools of interdependence, not one of us is expendable. Our dominant culture worships the lone hero, the singular voice who rises above the rest, but whales move in pods. Dolphins coordinate through sound. Their intelligence is relational, relying on the connection to each other. In her writing, Gums imagines a leadership model that is collaborative, interdependent, and adaptive rather than singular or centralized. This model resonates deeply in a time when fear pressures us into isolation. Oppressive systems are designed to convince us that our survival depends solely on self-protection. But marine mammals teach us that safety and security is a collective construct. By taking turns leading the way, by shielding one another, by traveling in formation and responding to distress calls? What if the journey home for humanity is not about becoming more courageous as individuals, but about becoming more responsive as communities? And isn't this exactly what we are seeing in our response to ICE that prayerfully is growing larger and more immediate? And isn't there something that everyone can do to make sure that we all journey home together? Not every person has to be the megaphone. Some of us amplify, some of us strategize, some of us nurture, some of us warn, some of us rest so that others can swim. The title Undrowned is not just descriptive, it is aspirational. To be undrowned is not to have avoided water, it is to have survived it. Women's History Month reminds us that women, particularly Black women, indigenous women, marginalized women, have long been navigating waters designed to submerge them. Gums teaches that survival is not a competition. Rather, it is choreography. We rise and fall with the tides. We make space for one another to breathe. We adjust to currents without abandoning the pod, turning together, going deep with each other, and then rising together for that necessary collective breath. In a time of rising fear, we do not deny the depth of the ocean. We learn how to move through it together. We become attentive to one another's breath. We resist the temptation to abandon the slowest swimmer. We trust that our songs carry farther than we know. And perhaps the deepest teaching is this: the ocean is vast. The currents are real. The danger is not imagined, but we are not meant to navigate it alone. And we don't have to. May we become a species that understands this. May we choose pods over isolation. May we protect each other's breath. May we remain undrowned, not because the waters are calm, but because our commitment to each other teaches us how to swim together. And may our continued journeying, steady, relational, and courageous, be how we healed this world together. Amen, and may it be so. Please join me in body or spirit in singing our hymn number 1026 in your teal hymnal, If Every Woman in the World.
If
Each week, we make an offering from the bounty we're blessed to enjoy. We do this in the spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those that in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Today's offering will also be shared with the SPCA of Westchester, a no-kill, not-for-profit animal welfare organization dedicated to saving homeless, abused, and abandoned animals, and to protecting animals from cruelty and neglect through education and enforcement of humane laws. For more information, please visit the website spcawestchester.org. You can make your donation in several ways. If present in the sanctuary, you may give cash or a check in the offering plate as it comes by. From your homes, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in the e-newsletter or by visiting our website, UUCHValley.org. Or if you prefer, you may always mail us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Please join me in the dedication of the offering. The words are in your order of service. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as the community of faith. Now please join me in extinguishing the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you, Tina and Alex and our worship team. Thank you so much for this gorgeous, uplifting service. And thank you to all of you for helping me uplift the voices of Black feminists across the planet. Spoken benediction is from June Jordan, a poet, a teacher, an LGBTQ activist, and Black feminist. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are not perfect, but we are perfectly fitted for this day. We are not without fault, but we can be honest to face our past as we chart a new future. We are the ones we have been waiting for. May we be bold and courageous to chart that new future. May we have faith in a future that is not known. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Go in peace, go in love, go in friendship. Amen.